Hey everyone, so this is my review of Star Trek Discovery, Season 1, Episode 2, called The Battle at the Binary Star. And essentially what this episode is about is that Michael is combined to the Shiansu's brig because she's called out for mutiny. And she's sort of stuck there while the whole Federation seems to fight against the Klingons. And just this was a really entertaining and really great episode that did a good job at sort of continuing on where the last episode left off. And I'm not a huge fan of that because I really enjoy what Star Trek does where each episode is sort of like its own individual story. But I can kind of understand it from the standpoint of this still being an introduction sort of episode. And that it was a 2-hour sort of block episodes where it was split in two, but it was just one right after the other. So I can kind of understand that whole continuation story. I just really hope that that doesn't continue on. That it does go into the more classic Star Trek thing where each episode's its own individual story. That does have some sort of connections with like the characters, but really they're all their own thing. And I did really enjoy seeing the whole battle of the Klingons versus the Federation and seeing like everyone on like all the different sort of ships showing up and how the Klingons sort of took on everything. And like how it was like all these different Klingon ships and like all the different like sort of families or hierarchies of the Klingon soldiers all being there working together and figuring out what to do. And that was a little weird that it seemed like it was like all these different families and houses together, but then it also seemed like it was very much a solo mission by the one Klingon guy sort of leading them all. So that was a little confusing, but I guess it kind of made sense of him trying to prove himself to all the rest of them. And then I really enjoyed seeing the scenes where Michael is confined to the brig and sort of the brig getting absolutely demolished by all the fighting, and she's just sort of stuck there because her sort of cell is holding her in place and holding her from getting sucked down into the vacuum of space and stuff like that, but the shield is slowly sort of deteriorating because of the loss of power that the Shiansu is facing. And so she's stuck trying to come up with a plan of how to save herself. And just all that stuff, as well as the scene where she is sort of reunited with her Vulcan teacher through like some sort of mind meld thing that was explained, but didn't quite make sense with me that like because he's mind melded with her in the past, they have like some sort of mental link now that he can tap into. And that was weird, but I guess they kind of needed for him to give her some like sort of guidance and help once again. So it made sense, but it was really kind of weird. And then it was also kind of weird how the rest of the crew just kind of welcomed Michael and all her ideas and stuff back in after her being called out for mutiny and seeming really crazy by the end of the last episode. The fact that they just welcomed her back into the group was weird. But I guess it kind of helped to sort of get everyone back together and get everyone to come up with a plan to fight against the Klingons for like this one sort of last ditch battle. And I really do enjoy the one sort of statement that Michael made, which was that if they kill this sort of Klingon captain, that will be a martyr for war and just a never-ending war and stuff. But if they kidnap him, he'll seem like a coward. So I really enjoyed that idea because it really did sort of tap into the Klingon sort of lore and how they hold themselves out there. So I do enjoy that they did come up with that plan, even though it didn't quite come to fruition. And yes, like I predicted, the captain did die, which was a little disappointing because I really kind of enjoyed her as a character. But like I said, I knew that was going to happen. And then the last like 3-ish minutes of this episode was really confusing, where it was just like all sort of out there as them sort of like telling all of what's coming up. But it just felt really kind of weirdly thrown in there. That it was like all this sort of stuff of them talking about Michael getting discredited because of the mutiny and everything that she did. And then it just cut to all this sort of random clips and stuff showing what's coming up, and it didn't feel like it flowed at all. But with what the clip showed, I'm super excited to see how all that's going to work out and how Michael's eventually going to get her sort of status back. And just overall, this was such a really great episode. Like I said, I just can't wait to see where they're going to take the story. And like I said, I really hope that it does go back to the classic sort of Star Trek way where everything is its own individual story. So yeah, that's my review of Star Trek Discovery, Season 1, Episode 2, called The Battle at Binary Star. So yeah, bye!